right, what's up? I'm Bologna. I'm back with another Bourbon Bums review. Um, Not much of a review, more of a flight. We got a 10-year flight planned for today. As you can see, I've got I was about to say four 10-year bourbons, a Russell's Reserve 10-year, 90 proof bottle by Wild Turkey Distillery, the Henry McKenna 10-year, a Heaven Hill product, Eagle Rare 10, Eagle Rare, that's Buffalo Trace, and then Calumet 10. So I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been wanting to do more flights on the Bourbon Bums videos for a while. But before we get going on the flight, I want to remind you, we have a Knob Creek barrel pick available at CD Discount Liquors in Bolingbrook. So you can see the bottle right here. You can see the bottle right there on screen. I did a review on it. You could see it on our YouTube channel. We really are happy with the way it turned out. The nose rich in chocolate toffee, a lot of oak on the nose. The taste gets a little bit of that classic Jim Beam peanut, but it's more of a dessert peanut, like a peanut M&M, some caramel, molasses. The more I drink it, as you guys can see, I'm almost ready to bottle kill this one. The more I drink it, the more Dr. Pepper I get on it. Once it's opened up a little bit, I like that. I like that note a lot. And then the finish, like I mentioned last week, just punches you with waves of oak and black pepper and a lot of brown sugar. Really, really good. Really happy with it. Really happy with the turnout. Thank you, everyone that's bought a bottle, ordered, pre-ordered, and ran out to CD Discount Liquors and bought one. We're about halfway done with them, if not a little more than halfway done with them. So if you guys are interested, DM us, contact us through Instagram or Twitter, or head out to CD Discount Liquors in Bolingbrook. But yeah, we're excited about that. We got some more fun things in the works, so keep an eye out on that. But for now, full disclosure, I had Julie blind pour this flight. She poured it, and we've got a little bit of stickers underneath them that I hadn't seen. Started the process of taking notes because I didn't want this video to be too long. So I'm like, let me go through the car wash once, that back and forth, have some notes, and then start recording. I don't want to, pat myself on the back, Barry Horowitz style, but I got it. I figured it out right away. I don't think, being in the bourbon game for as long as we have, you start not, I mean, there's tendencies within the distilleries, within brands. So immediately I knew that the first one was an Eagle Rare. The second one was the no, I'm sorry. The first one was the Russell's Reserve. Second one was Eagle Rare. And then the McKenna. Heaven Hill, I love Heaven Hill products. This Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond and the McKenna's, big fan of, have been for a long time. So I spotted that out for a mile away. So this isn't a blind folly anymore. I'm just going to drink it, give you my notes, and rank them how I like them. Because going into this, before this started, I thought I had an idea of what was going to win. Did not win. So let's start off with the Russell's Reserve 10-year. The Russell's Reserve 10-year is a 90 proof Wild Turkey product. Their basic entry for the Russell's Reserve line. And I've mentioned it on a previous video. I think it's a really good starter bourbon. Really good starter bourbon for people getting into whiskey. And I recommend it a lot. It's readily available. You could find it. Of all four of these bottles, the Russell's 10 is available at your local liquor store most of the time, shopping center or grocery stores. Jesus Christ, man, it's late. I've been drinking already. Let's go. So, real classic Wild Turkey funk. I've tried to explain the funk before, but I don't know how to explain it. But when you drink it, it's Wild Turkey. It's a little bit of like the dried wood mixed with a little bit of wet wood. It's like oak and there's just like some baking spices to it. It's real interesting, and it's a real flavor that like you only get with Wild Turkey products, whether it's Wild Turkey Run 101, I get it with the Russell's Reserve, I get it with the higher end, like the Russell's Reserve single barrel. I got one back there that is a higher 110 proof. Really big fan of that. So I like it. I like it a lot. Second one, this is the Eagle Rare. So when I did it spline before I started recording, I smelt this and immediately I'm like, oh shit, this is Buffalo Trace. I get like a fruit salad, like a big fucking fruit salad. I get waves of like cherry. I get waves of watermelon. I get waves of like strawberry, a lot of strawberry, and then caramel and vanilla. These first two are both 90 proof. The Russell's Reserve 10-year is a lot thinner than the Eagle Rare. For them being both, 10 years and 90 proof, you could tell there's a little bit more legs to it. There's a little bit more of a thicker mouth feel to the Eagle Rare. And the problem is nowadays, this used to be $45 and you could find it, mostly anywhere. Last 3 years, it became one of those highly sought after. People wait in line for the bottles. You can still find it here and there. I'm able to find it at my local Jewel every once in a while, but it's getting a lot harder to find. So it's typically like $45, $49 MSRP. Secondary prices and mom and pop shops, I've seen it for $65, $75. And then other places are charging like $100 for it. I would not pay $100 for Eagle Rare. If I don't have a bottle, if I've never had a bottle and I really want to try it, the most I'd probably pay is around $65, $75 at most. But I understand, if you're someone's birthday and you want to get them something, 80 at most, if it's like you really need to have it. But really, really good. The next one was the one that didn't stand out. I have a little bit of water. And that's the Calumet 10. I've had Calumet 14, 15, and 16-year bourbons, and I thought they really impressed for the price of the bottles. Those are usually run somewhere between 120 to 160 for the 16-year, I believe. And so this came out. I got this bottle probably like in the fall of last year, almost winter of last year, right before Christmas. And so now this is 100 proof Calumet small batch, and their small batch is what they say is 50 barrels or less. So, small batch can mean anything to anyone in the there's no real rules or regulations of what you want to call or what you can call a small batch, but 50 barrels or less, I would consider that on the smaller side. There's caramel, there's pepper. There's a little bit of like there is a lot. On the Knob Creek pick that I did last week, I said that there's a drying aspect to our pick, which I like. This ramps that up tenfold. It's like super, like almost like a desiccant, where it's like just drying your mouth out. And I don't think I like it. There's a different flavor there. Yeah, it's $65, $75 wherever you can find it for the Calumet 10. It's all right. It's not bad. It's by no means a drain pour there's nothing really offensive about it, but compared to the other 3 bottles on this flight, I just don't think it compares. Then finally, this is the McKenna 10. Going into this, I thought I was gonna pick the McKenna 10 blind. When I went through the car wash, like I mentioned, I was surprised. So McKenna 10, bottle and bond, 100 proof, single barrel. So that's where the distinction is, that since it's a single barrel, every McKenna 10 bottle is going to be a little bit different. You're not going to get the same exact flavors, the same exact consistency, bottle in and bottle out. But overall, obviously, they say have the same flavor profile and the same traits and characteristics. But you might find a dud, you might find a unicorn. That's just part of it being a single barrel product. Like I mentioned, I really like Heaven Hill. This, of all the four, is the thickest, and like it coats your mouth. It's viscous. There's a lot of caramel. There's a lot of oak. On the nose, it's just like, out of all four of these, this is like a classic bourbon. Just caramel. There's a little bit of leather and tobacco to it. I know tobacco could be like an off-putting, leather and tobacco. Like, oh, when do you ever eat leather? How do you know what leather tastes? It's like you just know what some of these. I got the leather a lot on one of the Maker's Mark wood finishing series bottles back there, and I get leather and tobacco on this as well. Okay, so if I'm ranking them, I had mentioned I thought McKenna was going to win hands down, and it's not true. I think Eagle Rare. I mean, for as much of the hype and, the people call them taters, the tater hype, it was my favorite one out of these four tonight. That could change. It could change on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis. But for today, when I smelt it, that fruit salad, like that classic Buffalo Trace. I mean, Buffalo Trace, for as much as people like to shit on them, they know what the fuck they're doing. Like there's a reason why they're at the top of the game. Really, really good. So I'm gonna go Eagle Rare 1, McKenna 2, Russell's 3, and Calumet 4. The Russell's Reserve 10-year. The problem with it, or at least the problem I had tonight, was the 90 proof kind of brings it down. It was thin. It wasn't like full flavored, but that's where the Russell Reserve single barrel, it's behind my stag. The Russell Reserve single barrels that are 110 proof, out of this world. I remember getting one a couple years ago. That was my first Russell's 10 single barrel, and it was special. And from then on, I hunt those down. Like, you're still able to find them regularly. It's getting hard to find. Everything's getting harder to find nowadays. But I always, one to rock and one to stock. If you're a Jordan fan, I do the same thing with bourbon. One bottle to pop open now and one to save for later, because you always want to have, by no means hoarding bottles. Everything I have here or upstairs is open for the most part, but I always do like to have backups of bottles that I know I'm going to drink. The Russell's Reserve single barrels, the Heaven Hill bottle and bonds, a couple McKenna bottles. Like, it's okay to have backups as long as you're not hoarding cases of bourbon at one time. I think it's fine, to plan ahead. And if you find a bottle, keep it. And if not, save it. What I do a lot of times is I buy a bottle or two when available, bring it to a birthday party, bring it to a barbecue, bring it to places where otherwise people wouldn't find them. So, like I said, share your bourbon. And I'm not telling anyone how to buy or what to do, but obviously this is a community. We all love this, and that's why we do it. And that's why we like doing Whiskey at Comiskey. So before I let you go, I'm going to remind you, Whiskey at Comiskey, White Sox game next Saturday, August 26th, 3 p.m.-ish in Lot B. We're going to bring the Knob Creek single barrel pick from CD Discount Liquors in conjunction with us, the Bourbon Bums. We're going to bring some other bourbon. Dougie and Jason will be cooking. Me and Johnny will be slanging drinks, and it's going to be a fun time. So we just announced the date and like the Twitter post earlier today, or if you're watching this yesterday. So if you can, RSVP, bring your friends, bring your family. It's a fun time. It's been growing. It's been a fun community, and we can't wait to see you guys there. So yeah, that's it. That's my 10-year flight. Eagle Rare 1, McKenna 2, Russell's 3, Calumet 4. But all of these have traits or characteristics that I think a bourbon drinker would like. So that's it. I'll leave you guys with one last toast of the Eagle Rare. Cheers. We'll see you next week.